Frederick Chani here for the SportsCourier.com at the Bellator Fighting Championships tryouts at Datus Fight Camp in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, sir, what brings you here today? What's your name and where are you fighting from?
My name is Austin Werner. I fight out of Vancouver, Washington. I made the long trip out here to hopefully get a shot at the big show.
And we were talking earlier before the interview. You've had quite a few fights for your age. You're only 19?
Yeah, I fought 6 times as an amateur from the time I turned 17 until I turned 19. And then I had my first pro fight 3 days after my 19th birthday.
Wow, so you're at a young age, you're a pretty bad dude. What got you into mixed martial arts in the first place?
I wrestled for a long time, and then I met a kid who trained at an MMA gym. I started going, and next thing you know, I was hooked, and I quit wrestling to fight.
And what was the biggest wake-up call going from wrestling to MMA? Because I've interviewed guys like Dan Severn where they say wrestlers, it's a natural transition to MMA because they like being physical, and when they're wrestling, they can't use their hands. And when you put a wrestler in a cage and allow them to use their hands, they just kind of foam at the mouth.
Biggest transition for me was when I was down at Oregon State. I wrestled at a tournament down there, and I had been training MMA for a little while, and I wanted to knee the guy in the face when he shot, and I realized this is my calling. This is what I was meant to do, and it's always like it'd be so much easier to get a takedown if I could punch somebody. Well, now I have that opportunity. Yeah. So it was an easy transition and a better transition for me instead of pursuing wrestling.
And how important of a base is wrestling? Because we got guys always say jiu-jitsu, striking, and you see a lot of wrestlers coming up now, like Jake Ellenberger, guys like that, Johnny Hendricks, that are very well-rounded. How important is it for you, even at a young age like yourself when you're still developing, to have a wrestling base?
My wrestling base has won me every fight. If I get caught on my feet and I need a takedown, then I'm able to get the takedown, able to push the pace on the ground. Being the wrestler, you can dictate where the fight goes. If I don't want to stand with someone, I'm going to take him down. If I want to stand, I'm going to make sure he doesn't take me down. That's helped me, win every fight that I've won.
And as a young fighter, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the traditional trying out, here and developing like naturally? Or do you prefer the Ultimate Fighter format where you try out, you get national exposure, but at the same time you might get thrown into the wolves and have higher expectations even when you may or may not necessarily be ready?
This is my first tryout I've ever done. I wanted to do the Ultimate Fighter tryouts, but I'm not 21 and I haven't had 3 pro fights in. It's hard. I've had a hard time finding guys to fight me, and especially on the Northwest, there's not a whole lot of pro 35ers. So I wanted to make the travel out here to hopefully spread my wings and get more publicity in my name and hopefully get more fights out here. So I wanted to do this tryout, hopefully get a shot with Bellator. Like he said, if you don't get signed today, you can get signed, in the next couple months. And it's just pretty much, I don't care where I fight, I just want to fight. I work full time. I got a pregnant fiance at home. I got a baby coming.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I got a little boy due in 5.5 weeks now. So I'm actually missing the baby shower today. So I want to pay the bills fighting full time. So
gotta make the sacrifices, right?
Yep, exactly.
And how poppin' is the Washington State MMA scene? Because we always hear about East Coast with Ring of Combat. Down south with the Black Zillions and, of course, American Top Team. What's it like in Washington? Is it pretty poppin', or is it kind of hard to find fights there?
No, we have a promotion in Portland, Oregon that is one of the biggest on the West Coast. It's owned by Chael Sonnen. I held the 135 title there. We have guys coming in from Hawaii, Vegas, California, all over to fight on that promotion. It's the toughest competition, I think on the West Coast. Washington, there's a lot of great shows. There's not a whole lot of pro shows in Washington and Oregon, so it makes it a lot harder to find fights. And but as far as talent-wise, there's a big pool of talent out in Washington and Oregon. I think it's 2 of the toughest states out there. I've been down to Vegas and trained at Vanderlei's place, and I just trained with Misha Tate and Brian Caraway a couple weeks ago, and it's Washington and Oregon that it's got a lot of star fighters there.
Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Before we let you go, where can fans find you online?
Facebook me, Austin Werner, and I have all fights, pictures, interviews, and then on YouTube, if you Google my name or YouTube my name, Austin Werner MMA, you can find a lot of my fights and a lot of interviews, grappling matches, and stuff like that. So, follow me.
Excellent. Well, best of luck today, and definitely looking forward to seeing you develop.